there was a time where I was very insecure about the music that I made, and I'll tell you exactly why. In middle school, I had an opportunity of sharing my music with my class. I had a language arts class, and shout out to Mr. Campbell. Mr. Campbell, rest in peace. He passed away like maybe 2015 or 2016, maybe a couple of years after I graduated. But I remember going into his classroom, and everybody would show something, right? They would show something. They would always share an idea, share a concept, or something that they made. And I remember at that time, I was like, I'm going to show the class my music. And hilariously enough, I burned this CD of a remix I did of a Lil Wayne record known as Ah Millie. And you guys know Ah Millie as, like, you know, one of Lil Wayne's biggest songs. And I had a chance to share a remix I did for that as well. I had been hyping up to my homies that, like, yeah, I got this drop. I got this crazy drop on the track. And I had been listening to Mad Flying Lotus. I had been listening to all this crazy stuff. And I was like, this is going to be the day that I can show my friends that I love music and they see that I'm really good at it. And I remember having that, you know, jittery moment where I'm like, oh, I'm about to share it. They don't even know. They don't even know that I know about Flying Lotus in 2009. Okay. They don't know. These kids don't know. Okay. So I walk in with the CD, and I remember going in the class. Everybody was, you know, was just chilling. This is one of those days where, like, we share everything. And so the time came that Mr. Campbell was like, does anybody have anything cool to share? And I'm like, I do. And he was like, what is it? And I was like, I have this CD of beats I made in remixes. And you're like, oh, remixes, beats. Oh, K makes beats. Oh, I'm finna get on the track. And there's this dude named, I'm blanking on his name. It started with a K. I think it was Kervon or something. Kayvon or something. But he was like, yeah, I want to hear like a drop so I can rap. Cause he was like, yo, you can make beats. I need to hear drop. And so first beat that we ended up pulling up was that remix of Ah Millie I did. And the track starts, and in the track, in the sample, I found FM8 as like a preset. And so I used FM8 as like the intro, and it was like this really like atmospheric synthesizer pad. It was super experimental, by the way. Do you still have that CD archive somewhere? Probably. It's probably somewhere in my closet. And I'll show you guys what, like, my CDs. Matter of fact, let me show you guys what they look like. Hold on. Let me show y'all something. This is gonna sound crazy. Here we go. All right, brace yourselves, guys. So, when I was in middle school, I remember I would burn the CDs, but I didn't have CD sets. So what I would do is I would grab shoe boxes, like sneaker boxes, and I would cut them up to make CD holders. And so I think this is the first, I think this might be the CD. Yeah, this is it. This is the CD, hilariously enough. But it was basically like a CD holder. I wrapped the CD up in a piece of paper, and I would basically wrap it, unwrap it, but I would carry these everywhere. I had this one. Let me see what kind of Nikes I had. Nike Air Press. But these were like beat CDs. These are like beat CDs. And so I would make them, I would cut them up and like paint them together. But they were basically indicating that, like, you know, it's a beat CD. And so I remember playing the CD for everybody. And I'll never forget watching everybody in the classroom go, what the heck is this man playing? And I just remember everybody's face just turned, and they looked at Mr. Campbell. Mr. Campbell looked at the class, and he looked at me. And then there was somebody else. There was somebody else that looked at me and was like, hey, you need to really reconsider what you want to do, because this music is terrible. And the remix continued to plays, and I'm looking and everybody's just laughing at me. It was terrible, bro. I was like, hey, yo. Majority of those beats that are on that CD are on my old YouTube, 5K Pro if you want to find that. But I remember playing my beats and I only had like 2 homies that were like, yo, we really like what you did. And, you know, they were really good supportive people. You know, I didn't really like, I remember looking at it, I was like, dang, I need to, am I really not good? And it made me feel very insecure about sharing my art with my friends. And so I didn't even consider sharing my music until like high school with the homies, when I graduated high school. So I'm sorry the way you told it was perfect. I'm telling you, and what's crazy is like everybody in the classroom, they were just like, nah. But I remember having a moment where I was like, what if I did get good though? Like imagine like a whole classroom laughing at what you did and you really, really like felt a way about it. And you're like, I know maybe it might now sound good, but what if it does sound good? And that was like the takeaway I had from it. I realized like you could really look at anything and kind of have a different perspective. Most folks in that kind of situation would have been like, nah, but it did make me feel insecure for a while. And I was like, I'm gonna stay in this room until I get good, you know? And that's what happened. The rest is history. What can I say? So, couple bad experiences in high school. Yeah. So that's story time.